I'm being honest. Lately we're not ourselves. We're breaking the pro, it's not pretend. So many sorries I can't keep count. Don't leave me, don't let me down. I know it's hard, know we're afraid. Been so far but we never break. It's too good to ever walk away. When they all run we fight to stay. It's bittersweet but we love the taste. You're the one.
Hey everyone, so welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial we will be breaking down how to remake and how to get sounds as close as possible to the new song by Lukas, that is Never Change. Let us start with the first sound, that is piano. I have used Bossendorfer grand piano from the Logic stock library. The tempo of this song, the metronome of this song is 80, so just let me play the BPM for all of you. Yeah, so either you can have 80 BPM or you can have a double time of 160 BPM and program the same song. Now for the piano part, I have used Bossendorfer grand piano from Logic's stock library, and I have made some adjustments. That is, I have added the value of 54 in the sustain pedal right here, and for the sound I have added two reverbs, that is one from bus 3, which is a small hall 1.3 seconds diffuse hall, which I have added plus 0.2 dBs, and the next bus that we have is a Prince hall, and I have dialed in minus 5.8 dBs of the same, and you get this sound. So for the piano part we have four chords here. The first chord is F sharp major. The notes here are F sharp, A sharp and C sharp. So F sharp and A sharp are in the second octave and C sharp is in the third octave, that is C sharp 3. The next chord that we have after that is E2, G sharp 2 and C sharp 3, which is a C sharp minor chord. The third chord that we have here is a B major with D sharp 2, F sharp 2 and a B2, and the last chord that we have is a B minor chord with the notes D2, F sharp 2 and the B note again. So the whole pattern of the piano revolves around these four chords, and I will tell you how to input these notes so that you can get the accurate sounds. So we will work on every individual note. So let's start with the top notes of all the chords. That is, on the first bar we have C sharp 3, and it will come on 8 note, that is on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the notes here. For the velocity, what you can do is you can select all of them and then go to functions and click on random velocity and input the range in which you want your velocity to be, so it will sound more natural. And you just click operate only and all the notes will have their own specific velocities and it will sound much natural than it was before. In the second bar, that is from 3 to 4, it is again on the 1, then and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The third bar we have this B note. So for the B note, it's on 1 and then 2 and then 3 and of the third beat, that is 3E and on 3 and on and then again on 4 and then the last part 1 and 2 and 3 and the E of fourth beat. The next note that we'll work on is the note which comes in between of these chords, the middle note. So here we have again A sharp 2, which will be again coming on the 8 notes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the second bar, which is 3 to 4, this note will come on 1 and then 2 and then the end of 3, and on the fourth bar this will come on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on the last bar the end of 1, then on the E of second beat and the end of second beat, so 2 E and A, and on 3 and the A of 3, that is 3 E and A, and then on the end of 4, that is 4 and then the last note we'll work on is the first note of every chord, which is here, down here, all these notes. So the first note that we have is F sharp 2. So the F sharp 2 note will come on 1, and then A of 1, that is 1 E and A. The second note which will come will start on AND, that is AND of 2. Then the third note that you can see right here will come on the E and the A of 3, 3 E and A, and the next note will come on the E of 4 and the A of 4. So the same way as the third beat was, 4 E and A. These are all 16th notes. If you don't know what are 16 notes and need a better understanding, just comment, so maybe I'll make a designated video related to 16 notes and other rhythms. And there is another video in which I have discussed the same thing. I will provide the links above, so while you're watching this you can just open them in a new tab and go through them as well afterwards. The second bar that we have, that is the third bar, and the note will come, that is E2 on 1, and the E and A of second beat, 2 E and A on E and A, and then on the A of 3 the next note will come, and on the fourth beat we have two notes again which will come on E and A of the fourth beat, that is for E and A. The next note that we have on the fourth bar is a D sharp 2, and it will come on the 1 and A of the first beat, that is 1 E and A, and the next note will come on the A of 2, that is 2 E and A, and then the third beat has two notes on the E and A, that is 3 E and A, and the last note that we have is on the A of fourth beat, which will come on 4 E and A. And then the last bar that we have is the fifth bar. We have two notes in the first beat, that is on the 1 and E, that is 1 E and A, and then the second note is on E and A of second beat, that is 2 E and A, and the third beat has a note on the A of third beat, which is 3 E and A, and the next note is on the E of 4, that is 4 E and A. So if you arrange and input the notes in the same way, you'll get the same sound. And don't forget to use random velocity function. It will make your piano sound more natural than the MIDI sound which we get to hear, and it's not that interesting. So all of this piano will sound like this. Okay. So the next part that we have is the pre-chorus part, which goes like this. So the first two notes that we have here are B1 and B sharp 2, which will come on 1, and the next note that we have is F sharp 2, which will come on 2. So this chord is basically a B major chord. So we have these two notes first and then F sharp 2 coming afterwards. On the third beat we have another chord, that is C sharp 2, F2 and G sharp 2. It is a B flat major, or you can also call it C sharp major chord. So it will come on third beat, and on the fourth beat we have G sharp 2. And then on the 15th bar we have this chord, which is C sharp 2, F sharp 2 and C sharp 3, which is again C sharp major chord with repetitions, that is on the and of 1, F sharp 2 will repeat itself, and on the R of 1, C sharp 3 will repeat itself. And then on the and of second beat, we have this chord, which is B1, D sharp 2, and F sharp, again that is B major chord. And then after that on the fourth beat, we have F sharp 2. And then after that on the 16th bar, we have D sharp 2, B1, and F sharp 1, again a B major chord on 1. And on the second beat, we have F sharp 2. Then we have again a C sharp major or B flat major chord with G sharp 2, F2, and C sharp 2. First note will repeat itself, that is C sharp 2 on the and of 3. And then on the 17th bar, on the next bar, we have this chord which has the notes F sharp 1, E sharp 2, and F sharp 2. So this chord is basically F sharp major chord, and we have repetitions of F sharp 2 note. We have repetition of the F sharp 2 note on the second and the third beat, which will go on till the end of the bar. Just listen to this part. Now for the chorus part, what you can do is you just have to change one thing. The second chord that we had in the beginning was C sharp minor, but here we have to change the same chord. So the three notes that we had previously was C sharp 3, G sharp 2, and E2. And here what you have to change is C sharp 3 will remain the same, G sharp 2 will also remain the same. The change will be C sharp 2 here. So basically it is a C sharp major chord. So this part will sound like this. Okay, and one more thing that I have added in this one is a hi-hat, which is from After Party. There is a sound of a muted guitar which is in the back, but just to substitute it with something which sounds almost the same, I have used this hi-hat. So you can listen to the pattern. So basically it is a very subtle pattern which is almost not hearable, but it makes a difference. For your better understanding and better clarity of listening, what I'll do is I'll just add a gain plugin here, which I'll remove afterwards, and I'll just add maybe 10 dB so that it will be better for all of you to hear this. Okay, so let me break down the rhythm for this one. The first note that we have is coming on 1. The second note is coming on the second beat on 2 and. The third note that we have is coming on the and of 3, and the fourth note is coming on fourth beat. So if you will clap on this, it will sound like 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So this was the first bar. The second bar, we have 16 notes, that is 3, E, and A. So all four here, and then on the end of 2, the next note. Then the next two notes on 3, E of the third beat, and we leave and A of 3, and the next beat on 4 and A of 4. So if I'll clap on this, it will be like 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a. And then the next part that we have hi-hat on 1 E and we will leave A. So 3 notes that we have. So it will be like 1 E and A. And the next notes are on and A of the second beat, which is 2 E and A. Then the next note that we have on the third beat is on 3, and then the last few notes that we have on this bar are on 4 E and then we will leave A. So if I clap on these as well, they will sound like 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. And then on the last bar, that is fifth bar, we have again uh, the first beat that is on one E, and then in the next beat, on the second beat, we have two notes on and ah, and then the next note on the third beat, and then the next few notes that we have on the fourth beat, which will come on for E and. So let me clap this as well for you. One E and a, two E and a, three E and a, four E and a, and all together they'll sound like this. Okay, now I'll remove the gain plugin which is here, and you can listen to the same thing with the piano and how it sounds. So this was all for this video. Stay tuned and do subscribe and share it with your friends who are music producers. More stuff is on the way. Thank you.